Alright students, welcome back. We're going to start a new isometric drawing today, and this is going to be done from our 20 sketching problems. And we're going to be doing number 1. Now to give you an idea of what we're creating, let me show you. This will be the product that we have when we're done. And notice that it's not dimensioned, but right now we don't need to worry about that. I will show you, however, I do have a drawing that has our dimensions on there. If you'll notice, it's a total of 9 inches long. 7 inches to this first point here, 5 inches to the bottom point here, and 3 to the top. The total height is 5, and you can see that each one of these sections is 2 inches wide. 2, 4, and a total of 6, 2 inches wide. So to get this started, we need to start a new drawing. So if I'm back here where you're probably at, the easiest way to do this is come up here to this little drop down, which is our new, and I'm going to click a new part. Now once I'm in my new part, you see that it is blank. I need to start with a sketch. So if you come up here and click on your pencil, that's going to show us all of our different axis planes, and we're going to choose the XY plane. Okay, now I'm going to scroll out just a little bit, and I'm going to move this down just a bit so we can have some room to work. Now as we start here, let's reference back to our size here. We did say that it is a total of 9 inches long and 5 inches tall. Also notice that this point right here is 7 inches from this line. That's going to be important because when we draw this, we're not going to worry about this front section sticking out right now. We're going to do the overall height and the length. Okay, so back to here. So we're going to start with a line. I'm going to start from my origin point. It's very important that you snap to your origin, so we're going to click there and drag out to the side here. Now, we're not worried about the overall distance right now as far as dragging. All we need to do is drag in the correct direction. So I'm dragging to the right, and I can type in what I want. So in this case, I want 9, and I want to press enter. Now this clearly goes well off my page, so to fix that, I can simply just click up here where it says front on my navigation cube, and you can see that now I can see that entire line. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and right click and choose OK, and that will finish the line that I'm currently working on. And I can come back up here and choose line again. Now back to where we started, our origin point, I'm now going to do the height. So what we've done is represented the length, now we're ready for height. So if I click that point and drag upwards, I can go, oops, got a mistake there. It went up its own distance and didn't go what we wanted. But that's not a big deal, we'll actually fix that here in just a second. So for now what we'll do is we'll just worry about going out to that 7-inch point that we looked at. So I'm going to come out to the right again, click 7, press enter. Okay, now you'll notice that these two lines are green. What that's telling us is that they're not constrained. They could still be moved around. So we're going to go ahead and fix that. So again, I'm going to right click and click OK to end my line. Now to fix this, I simply need to tell this line how long it was supposed to be. This one already knows it's 7. So very easily to do this, we can click the dimension command. So click up here, dimension. And I'm going to choose from this line to this line and drag out to the side. Now, right now it says it's 3.505 inches. We're going to go ahead and click that. And now we can give it a new dimension that we want it to be. And in this case, we want it to be 5. So 5, enter, and you see that that line moves for us. So now we have our height, we have our length, and now we have 2 points that we can actually connect to make this angle here, or this angle that's represented there. So we don't need to know what angle it is, we just need to know 2 points that we can connect to it. So I'm going to click my line here, and I'm going to start from that point there, and you'll notice it turns green. I'm connecting to that point, dragging down and connecting there, and now I have that point made. Notice again they're all blue, that means they're constrained, so they're not going to move around. Let's say, okay, so I can go ahead and click finish, sketch. Now it goes way off the page here, but if I click my home, it will show everything for us. Okay, so now we have a 2-dimensional sketch of the outline of the object. Now we need to make this 3-dimensional. So now that once we clicked our finished sketch, it brings us back to our 3D model. This is where we can take things and make them 3-dimensional. So we want to now click extrude, and it's going to choose this part because it's the only part we have. So up here we have a few different options. We can choose a profile, we can choose solids, but it's already selected that for us. We want to choose how far, so we're going to choose 2 inches because as we noticed here, this middle section is 2 inches wide. Overall 4 minus this 2 tells us that from here to here is 2 inches. So back to our part. So we're set to 2. We can choose some different things. We could choose a distance. We could go from one point to another or between multiple things. So we're going to stay on distance, but we're going to choose for it to go the direction of backwards. So this leaves our XY plane right here on the front. So go ahead and click OK. And now you have a three-dimensional shape. And you can rotate around by choosing the different points of view of this. You can actually rotate it side to side if you want to. But if you want to get back to where you started, just click your home button, and there it is. Okay, now to continue this, we've now drawn the middle or longest part of this. Now we're ready to add these two side pieces, and you can see from here and here that they are in line with one another. So we should just have to make one, and then we can turn that one piece into both parts for us. So back here to part 6 that we're working on. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to make another sketch. So to do this, we want to do it on the surface of this object. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose New Sketch. What this will do is this will actually sketch for us on the surface of this object. Okay, so again we start with our line. But before we do that, let's look at our dimensions. Okay, so from this back edge forward to here, that's 5 inches, and at the top it's 3 inches. Again, we don't need to worry about this angle because we can just connect those 2 points. Alright, so we take our line, again from the origin, I'm going to click and drag out, and I'm going to go 5 units, so 5, enter, and I'm going to finish that line by right clicking, click OK, and I'll start another line here. I'm going to go all the way up. Whoops, I'm trying to make a circle there. Let's fix that. So let's delete that because that is clearly wrong. And let's try again. Okay, so my line's going to start here, and come up to the top, and that's going to go all the way to this point. You see that that is 5 inches. So we click there. I'm going to drag out to the right, and again we said that that was 3 units or 3 inches wide, so 3, enter. And now we have our angle that we can connect to that endpoint. Okay, so we can finish our sketch because that's the whole part made. Alright, so now we have our 2-dimensional object that we can make 3-dimensional. So to do that, again we go to Extrude. It already selects that surface for us. Now, the last distance we used was 2, so it remembers that. However, we want this to make one not just on this side, but also on the back side here. And if we reference our drawing, we see that is there. And again, some simple math tells us 2 inches wide, 2 inches wide, 2 inches wide. So we are currently working on this plane, or this surface here, so that sticks forward 2 inches, but this part back is 4 inches. Because again, if that's 2, from there to there would be 4. So let's fix that. We have some options here. We could do forwards, backwards, symmetrical. You see how it goes both directions. But in this case, we want to do two directions. So our first one is 2. Our second one is going to be that 4 that we discussed. So now you can see the reference of it there. We click OK. And now our object is made. So I hope you did that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or to come back and just try some things again. So there you go. That's part 1. Isometric, and call it an angle block. So from here we want to save that. We'll do a File, Save As. You do want to make sure you're in your proper projects folder. In this case, I'm doing mine in my Core Samples Training. So I'm going to call this one, because it does have an angle, we'll call it an angle block. You could also call it part 1 since it is number 1 on your worksheet. I'll call it angle block 1, and